here. Adam, let's get back to you because both you and Chase have Geno on your sleeper list. So take it away because Geno's somebody who actually, honestly, for me, is not like anywhere for me. Like he's not like he's just an afterthought. Like the thought of having Geno Smith on my team, just like it doesn't kill me. It doesn't excite me. It just puts me to sleep. I don't know. So you two have him on your sleeper list. Take it away.
I think Geno is really, really interesting this season. I am so curious what happens. I think genuinely, I think that this is a case of Seattle was holding him back and not the other way around. I think that we're going to see that with Sam Darnold coming crashing to earth this season with Seattle. I think that there's a very strong opportunity that Seattle actually had the worst offensive line in the league last year. Geno Smith was the most pressured quarterback last year. And by the way, the pressure to sack ratio, I'm not going to say it was good, but it was on par with your Joe Burrows, your other, pocket passers who were, whatever. Like, it wasn't like he was poor. They was just getting pressured like crazy. Like, I don't know what you're supposed to do with that. So with that, yes, the numbers themselves aren't that great. If you go to passing touchdowns, interceptions, and stop there, you're not going to be all that excited about Geno Smith. One, still fantasy relevant to a degree. Two, you dig a little bit deeper and you start getting into the ADOT, which was, fairly healthy. You get into the big time throw rate, which was, outside of your Josh Allen, who just like makes the scale go weird because he gets like 7% every year. Like normally 5% is like really good. And Geno's been a good 4.5 to 5% the last couple of years he's been starting to Seattle. Like, he's been good. He threw the 15 interceptions, so it feels like the turnover-worthy play rate should be high. But no, most of them weren't really his fault. He only had 2.5%. He actually had a higher big-time throw rate. I said it with Andy Dalton earlier. Better than Patrick Mahomes in big-time throw rate, which feels insane, but that's 2025 for us, I guess. I think getting those things where with the Raiders – I'm not going to say he has better weapons than Seattle because I don't think that any of these guys outside of the obvious are better than DK Metcalf or better. It's a lot deeper. He's got a lot more like options that can do something, I think, but just given Tyler Lockett falling off a cliff, because I think that was like the big thing last year where you go down to really only having two weapons that you feel comfortable about versus I think obviously great at tight end. Gonna do perfect there. I think Jacoby Myers is a solid, wide receiver. We'll see what Dante Thornton is, but right now he's the star of training camp. Said that earlier, by the way. They have their other second round pick. They've got options at receiver. Obviously got Genty. Like, I think this is going to be the Raiders actually somehow, by the grace of God, have a better offensive line than Seattle had last year. Good. Different statement. Different statement is good, but better than Seattle last year? I think so. I think that it's going in the right situation for a quarterback who was pushing the ball down the field, was making big throws, wasn't turning the ball over. I think he could sneak into the top 12. I don't have him as a top 12 quarterback, but I think he's in that fringe territory where he could absolutely do it. I think he has a fighter's chance.
Anything want to add, Chase?
Oh, listen. Geno Smith is coming off a season where he's set. Even with, I agree with you, the Seahawks holding him back, he's coming off a season where he set career highs last season in completions, in attempts, in yards, okay? Yes, the Raiders have a middling offensive line, but like you said, he's coming off of the worst offensive line in football possibly, and they're not going to be any better this season in Seattle. He is coming into a much better situation, weirdly enough, in Las Vegas than he was in Seattle there. He's got beautiful weapons there. If he wants to dump it out of the backfield, he's going to be passing it off to Genty and Mostert this season. We already know that we all love Brock Bowers. I love Jacoby Myers as a possession type guy. And then, yes, you brought up my guy, my cousin. We're like the Dudley boys in ECW back in the day. Dante Thornton. Okay. The dude is 6'5". He runs a 4.3 40. Played 25 games at Oregon as a freshman and sophomore, and also led then Tennessee in receiving yards and touchdowns and led FBS last season with 25.4 yards per reception. He is going to be the deep threat that they need there. I like everything about Geno Smith being able to outplay being taken as a low 20s quarterback. Do I think he finishes there? Heck no, he outplays that draft slot completely. You want to give me Geno Smith as my second quarterback in a 2-quarterback system right now, and you're drafting him outside of that? Flip, I'll take that all day long, and I'll take weapons at other positions while you guys are drafting other guys at QB2. I love Geno Smith as a sleeper this year.
I'm gonna have to take a little look at him. I mean, I just don't see the upside in Geno, but at the same time, you guys aren't wrong in the arguments that you're making there. Like I said, he's just kind of like under the radar for me.
Upside, he had 8 more pass attempts than Baker. He had a higher big time throw rate than Baker. He had a lower turnover worthy play rate than Baker, and he had 7 less rushing attempts.
Here's the devil's advocate. It's Chip Kelly. I don't know if I trust Chip Kelly's offense.
Hey, Chip Kelly is good for one season at a time every decade.